With all auspicious blessings and grace of my Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavad Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, I welcome you to this video. It is through Swamiji's grace and his teachings and his principles which I feel blessed to share with each and every one of you. Swamiji's teachings and principles have helped millions of people across the world to come out of their everyday struggles, their everyday incompletions, their everyday addictions, violence and rage. So it is these principles of Swamiji that have attracted me to Kailasa. These principles are the core values for every human being. In Kailasa, the preamble of Constitution of Kailasa is the Bhagavad Gita, which has been decoded by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavad Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, for today's humanity, for today's modern man's mind. When I'm saying today modern man's mind, I think sociologists, psychologists will agree with me when I say the human mind, thoughts, their actions have evolved very fast in the last few years. In the last couple of decades, the shift of human consciousness, the insensitivity, the selfishness, the withdrawal of human beings in interacting with their own people, with their own friends, with their own family, has drastically fallen, and we have become more and more insensitive to each other. Nothing shakes us anymore. But this was not so a few decades ago. People were sensitive to each other. There was friendliness, there was kindness. But somewhere now, in this fast world, everybody is too busy with everybody, and everybody talks about nuclear family, dysfunctional families, broken homes, child abuse, depression. It's become the most common language, parlance in today's world. This is most common. And young children getting into relationships. Young kids who are, minor children, but 13, 12, 14, getting into relationships with the opposite genders. Obviously, I am not a scientist or a psychologist or a sociologist to be able to identify exactly when the shift happened in human consciousness. Especially for us Hindus, it's a little difficult to even imagine the vast gap that Hindus lived, the principles that we Hindus used to have during the ancient Enlightenment civilization period to who we are now. And one of the primary reasons is that we have lost touch with our source scriptures. It is these source scriptures that teach us how a human being should live, what it means to be a human being. First of all, how do we evaluate who's good, who's bad? It is from the source scriptures. It is by the guidelines and the principles of these source scriptures which Swamiji is reviving and making them useful and user-friendly for today's human mind. That is why Swamiji declared the Bhagavad Gita decoded, the most sacred scripture for the Hindus, which is actually the compilation of the revelation of the Purnavatara, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, to his closest, dearest friend, Arjuna. Arjuna finds the most, I will not even say uncomfortable moment, the most uncomfortable, crucial moment to have a dilemma in life, to withdraw, to have cold feet. Can you imagine today when there is a war happening, your lead general, your general decides that he's confused, he doesn't know what to do, he's in a dilemma. when such a personality falls into a dilemma, it demoralizes, demotivates so many people around. But not Purnavatara Krishna. He found this as the most auspicious time to reveal the most sacred scripture for humanity itself, not just for Hindus. Any human being who reads the Bhagavad Gita and lives the principles in Bhagavad Gita would feel his life and find his life most complete, most fulfilled, and he would be a far better human being than what he would have been when he started reading the book and following the principles in the Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 5, Sannyasa Yoga, Arjuna's eternal dilemma is the dilemma of man today. In Mahabharata, Arjuna had the dilemma during the most crucial period, that is during the war, when there were lives at stake. But from then to now, the society has evolved so much and the human consciousness has evolved so much that dilemma has become a way of life. Today, dilemma is a way of life. Black coffee, white coffee. Tea with milk, tea without milk. Should I have a burger or should I have a pizza for lunch? Should I wear a black outfit or should I wear a white outfit or should I wear a green outfit for a function or a party? Dilemma is an accepted norm, but not according to us, so our ancient scriptures. Dilemma is a disease of the mind. Sri Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna that dilemma is the biggest disease of the mind. Now just imagine this whole situation. There are two armies standing on both sides of the war and you're ready to go to battle. And the first question that Arjuna asks is, obviously not the first question, but one of the most important questions that Arjuna asks is it karma or sannyasa? What should be my life? Karma means action, work. Sannyasa means renunciation. Dear Krishna, tell me, which path should I take? Once you tell me, do work, do action, do karma. Once you tell me, be a renunciate. I'm not clear. Please give me a definitive answer, definitive direction. His mind is yearning, seeking for a definitive direction, which he is waiting to hear and implement in his life. It is this very Bhagavad Gita which was revealed to Arjuna by the Purnavatara Sri Krishna that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has in today's world decoded for our use, for today's man's mind. He has decoded and compiled it in such a way that anybody can read it and just follow it in a simple and easy manner. Coming back to the question, the dilemma that Arjuna had, he asked, should I do karma or sannyasa? Which should be my path? Dear Krishna, show me the way. Give me a definitive guideline. And this is the disease of the mind, always having dilemma, always not sure how to make up their mind. Today, even if two people go to the restaurant and you order food, we're always looking at the other person's plate or a neighboring table's plate and saying, oh, maybe I should have ordered that. That would have been better. Maybe that's tastier. Maybe I made a mistake with this food which I ordered. The mind has become so unstable. It is just not satisfied. There is a saying in English that ignorance is bliss. Surely, if ignorance is bliss, at least 90% of the world would be a happier place. But ignorance is not bliss. Swamiji says, innocence is bliss. And he has very beautifully defined the difference between ignorance and innocence. Innocence is not having a scale in life with which we constantly measure life. We just live life because life is the ultimate beautiful gift and we do the best in whatever we decide to do. Whereas ignorance is having a scale with which we measure how we should live our life or what we want to achieve, but never actually fulfilling it. And even if we do actually reach the goal that we have kept as our own goal, we are not satisfied. That is ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is the cause of suffering, is the cause of all the pains that you go through. Innocence is bliss. Just live life. Do the best in everything that you want to do, just because you want to do it. Just because you have a life and you want to live it to the peak of your best ability. That is the difference between ignorance and innocence. When we look at life as a business venture, it will lead to suffering and dilemma. When I'm saying as a business venture, you may wonder, what do I mean by that? It means you always do something expecting something in return. It could be as something as simple as, I'm going to make a cup of coffee for my friend when she comes. But when she comes, you expect her to say, oh, what a beautiful coffee you made. I'm so glad you were so sensitive to me. You're the only person who thinks so much of me. We expect that from the friend. It's not just a friend. It could be a family. It could be anything you do. Anything we do, we always expect something in return. That is a business relationship with life itself. Instead, you just want to do something because you enjoy doing it. That is enriching moments of life. Never look at life as a business relationship from a business perspective. Look at life as a beautiful canvas in which you can play the game and enjoy life all the time, doing the best because you want to do it. Because it makes you feel good doing what you're doing. That is the only scale. You cannot have a scale saying, oh, I'm going to make this painting and keep it here. So when my friends walk in, I'm going to explain this beautiful enigmatic painting I made and expect them to go gaga over it. Or expect them to say, what a beautiful painting you've made. It's a classic. You should be putting it in a museum. Don't expect that. Paint because you love to paint. Cook because you love to cook. Talk to friends because you love to do. Work because you love to do. That is what Swamiji means by innocence. Here's an action point I want all of you all to do from today, from now. Take half an hour every day to do something that makes you feel complete, that makes you feel self-fulfilled, that your inner space feels rejuvenated. As I said, it could be something as simple as painting or cooking or writing or doing any kind of volunteer activities, doing seva in a temple, doing annadan in some place. Anything, but just make it a habit to spend that half an hour for yourself. Half an hour a day doing what you really feel like doing, that makes you feel complete. That is not set by any social expectation or your expectation. Just do it simply because you love doing it, because it makes you feel complete and fulfilled. When you feel complete and fulfilled, it touches your core. It is like your inner space restarts, regenerates, fresh, as it was when you were born. You start getting reconnected to that innocent part of your life, that innocent part of you, which is inside of you. So let's all work together to create a beautiful society, a beautiful enriching moments of our life. So we can be complete, we can be fulfilled, and through that spread happiness and joy. I would love to hear from you what you did in that half an hour of enriching moments. Please leave it in the comments below, or please follow me on any of my social media handles and use the hashtag enriching moments and put what you did in that half an hour and how you felt after that, because I would love to hear from you. Hearing from you and reading your experience will inspire others to try the same thing. When you inspire others to reconnect to their core beautiful self, we start creating a circle of happy, self-fulfilled people, a circle of people who live life just out of joy with no violence. Consider this as a first step towards a change you want to make to yourself and to the society around you. Don't forget, half an hour a day, just doing something that makes you happy, just doing that one thing that is not motivated or triggered by anybody's expectation, even yourself. Try it out and let me know how you experienced and how you felt. Because when you do this every day for half an hour, you will see the inner space of yourself being rejuvenated. There won't be depression, there won't be dilemma, you will not have suffering in life. Just try it out. And until next time, have many enriching moments. Thank you for watching Nithyananda.